Hello students, in today's lecture we are going to discuss about revised National Tuberculosis Control Program, its recent changes and advances. So revised National Tuberculosis Program was launched in 1962 actually in the form of district TB center model with BCG vaccination and TB treatment. A joint review of NTP was done by Government of India, WHO and Swedish International Agency in 1992. There was a review conducted about this program in 1992 by WHO, Swedish International Development Agency, that is SIDA, which helps regarding this program, running this program in India. There are some shortcomings were found in the program in 1992 review. And then at the same time in 1993 the WHO declared TB as a global emergency, and WHO devised the DOTS treatment at that time, that is directly observed treatment short course, and recommended to follow it by all countries. Then the Government of India revitalized NTP, that is National Tuberculosis Program, as a revised National Tuberculosis Control Program RNTCP in the same year, that is in 1993. It is revised and renamed as RNTCP, and DOTS was officially launched in India in 1997, and by the end of 2005 the entire country was covered under this program. Its second phase was conducted during 2006 to 11, and long-term vision of TB-free India, that is National Strategic Plan for Tuberculosis Control 2012 to 70s, was documented with the goal of universal access to quality TB diagnosis treatment for all TB patients in the community. That is, in 2020 to 70s, India has target for TB control all over the India, with the objective of TB diagnosis and treatment for all TB patients, and significant interventions and initiatives were taken during 2012 to 17. Later, National Strategic Plan for Tuberculosis Elimination was launched in 2017 to 25, and it is released for the control and elimination of TB in India by 2025. There are four strategic pillars in this strategy, which are detect, treat, prevent and build. So four pillars are put forth at that time. In first pillar, that is detect, the objective was to find all drug sensitive cases and drug resistant TB cases, and emphasis on reaching TB patients seeking care for private providers and undiagnosed TB cases in high risk population like prison, migrant workers, people living with HIV/AIDS and contracts. So the private practitioners are also encouraged to detect and notify the TB cases, and the special focus was given on high risk populations like prisoners, migrant workers and people living with HIV/AIDS and contacts. And early diagnosis and treatment of TB cases in the community was an important step in TB elimination. So at this time, main focus is concentrated on detection of TB cases, sensitive TB cases and resistant TB cases. In detection of TB cases, notification is also included there, notification of TB cases, though, so it is made mandatory to all government authorities and private practitioners also to notify TB cases. So notification of all TB patients from all healthcare providers is made mandatory by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare since 2012. According to mandatory TB notification gadget for private practitioners, chemists and public health staff, March 2018, all chemists will also inform about TB patients for whom they have dispensed the TB drugs. So later in 2018, the notification is also made mandatory to medical chemists also and all public health staffs. So with this initiative, the reporting of TB cases was made more convenient and simple. The TB patients themselves are also encouraged to notify themselves so that the incentives and supports to patient families and communities can be properly extended. So TB patients themselves are also encouraged in the form of incentives to notify themselves. So on each notification the patient will also receive some incentives, and these incentives are also given to private practitioners and chemists and public health staffs also, so that they can be encouraged to notify more and more cases to the health authorities. Then the Nikshay, to facilitate TB notification, RNTCP has developed a case-based, web-based TB surveillance system called Nikshay. That is, web-based notification system was developed by RNTCP, that is nikshay.government.in, for both government and private healthcare facilities. Public-private partnership. So this is also an important part in RNTCP program, that public-private partnership for promotion of public-private mix in TB prevention and care. Private providers are provided incentives for TB case notification and for ensuring TB treatment completion. So private practitioners are provided with incentives on notification also and completion of treatment also, so they can retain their patient themselves but can provide the treatment with the help of government, and for each notification and completion they will get the incentives. So private practitioners are more and more encouraged through these initiatives. So the incentives are provided through direct beneficiary transfer. So you should also know how these incentives are provided to private sector TB care providers. They are as follows: that on each notification of TB case they receive 250 rupees as per standard for TB care in India, STCI, and on completion of every month treatment they receive 250 rupees again, and on completion of entire course of TB they receive 500 rupees. And for notification and management of drug sensitive patients over 6 to 9 months as per standard TB care in India, they receive 2750 rupees, and for notification and correct management of drug resistance case they receive 6750 rupees. So these are handsome incentives which are provided to private practitioners, and with this they get encouraged to notify and treat more and more TB cases. Free drugs and diagnostics test to TB patients in private sector. So in private sector, government supplies the free drugs and diagnostic test for TB patients seeking treatment from private health sectors. So private practitioners do not have to invest themselves in diagnosis or in treatment also, but they will still receive the incentives on notifications and completion of treatments, so they can retain their patients. So there are two approaches for ensuring access to free drug and diagnostic test. So first access to program was provided drugs and diagnostics through attractive linkages. So direct drugs and diagnostic tests are provided to the patients via private practitioners, and second is in the form of reimbursement of market. So whenever they get the medicine from chemist and testing from diagnostics centers, they will get reimbursement for their expenses. For TB diagnosis, more than 14,000 designated microscopy centers spread across the country. So government has launched 14,000 such microscopy centers for diagnosis, and cartridge based nucleic acid amplification test and line probe assay have been established as district level for drug resistance TB. So for drug resistance TB, CB-NAT test and LPA test are performed on the district levels. So government has provided very uh, good services in the form of treatment also and in the form of diagnosis also. Reference laboratories have been established at state and national levels which provide culture and drug sensitivity test services as well as molecular diagnosis. So there are many reference laboratories at state and national levels are provided. Second one is a treat. For treatment, initiation and sustaining all TB patients on appropriate anti-TB treatment wherever they seek care with patient-friendly system and social support. So, TB patient can seek TB treatment anywhere they want. So, this facility is made available by the government for patients with patient-friendly system and social support. So provision of free TB drugs in the form of daily fixed dose combinations. So FDCs, you should remember that FDC means fixed dose combinations are provided and free drugs are provided for in the form of daily fixed dose for all TB cases. It is advised with the support of directly observed treatment. So with DOTS treatments, daily fixed dose regimen is provided for TB patients. DOT is a specific strategy to improve adherence by any person observing the patient taking medication in real time. So the observation in the directly observed treatment short course therapy, the observation can be done by anyone. It may be friend, relative or healthcare worker or a lay person also. The treatment observer does not need to be a healthcare worker, but it could be friend, relative or lay person who works as a treatment supervisor or a supporter. If treatment is incomplete, patient may not be cured and drug resistance may develop. So these things should be noted and should be kept in mind that if the treatment is not completed, if treatment is not get completed, the patient will suffer with resistant TB case also, and the chances of survival can also be decreased due to that. So screening of all patients for rifampicin resistance and for additional drug resistance wherever indicated is done. So this is a very important and essential thing to screen the patient for resistance and especially with rifampicin resistance. For drug sensitive TB, daily fixed dose combinations of first line anti-tuberculosis drugs in appropriate weight band for all forms of TB and in all ages should be given. So for TB, so for drug sensitive TB patient, the normal dosing schedule is performed, that is first line anti-tuberculosis drugs with appropriate weight band is given with FDC combination, and in all ages it should be given. First line treatment of drug sensitive TB consists of 2 months, that is 8 weeks intensive phase, and 16 weeks, that is 4 months continuation phase. And the first fixed dose combination therapy is given in that dosing schedule with 3 drugs of FDCs. So in first line there are 4 drugs used, and in continuation phase 3 drugs are used in FDC. So we are going to see that in detail now. For new TB cases, the treatment in intensive phase consists of 8 weeks of isoniazid, rifampicin, pyrazinamide and ethambutol. So HRZE is should be remembered, and intensive phase includes these 4 drugs in daily doses as per weight bands. In continuation phase, 3 drugs FDCs are used, that is rifampicin, isoniazid and ethambutol, and it is continued for 16 weeks, that is 4 months. So 2 months and 4 months the new TB cases are treated for TB for 6 months. For previously treated cases of TB, The intensive phase is of 12 weeks where injection streptomycin is added for 8 weeks along with 4 drugs, that is HRZD, that is isoniazid, rifampicin, pyrazinamide and ethambutol. So these 4 drugs used for 3 months. In fresh cases, the intensive phase is for 2 months, that is 8 weeks, and in the previously treated and relapsed cases, it is for 12 weeks. And after 8 weeks of 4 drugs, HRZD in daily doses as per weight bands are continued for another 4 weeks. That is, for 8 weeks, streptomycin with HRZD, and after 8 weeks, for 4 weeks, only HRZD drugs without streptomycins are given. So this 12 months schedule is completed in this form. In continuation phase, rifampicin, isoniazid, ethambutol are continued for another 20 weeks. So the continuation phase in relapse cases is for 5 months. Previously we have seen it for the continuation phase in both new and previously treated cases can be extended for another 12 to 24 weeks in certain forms of TBs like skeletal disseminate TB based on clinical decisions of the treating physicians. So extrapulmonary TB cases and skeletal TBs, in such cases the continuation phase can be extended. The patients eligible for treatment should be referred for rapid molecular test or drug susceptibility testing to determine at least rifampicin resistant and preferably also isoniazid resistance status. So every patient which is eligible for retreatment, so relapsed cases should be screened or tested for resistance of rifampicin and isoniazid. So on the basis of susceptibility profile, a standard first line treatment, that is 2 months HRZD and 4 months HR, can be repeated if no resistance is documented. So HRZD and 4 months HRE should be there, and if rifampicin resistance is present, then shorter regimen for MDR TB, that is multi-drug resistant TB regimen, should be prescribed according to WHO guidelines for TB treatment, resistance TB treatment. So RNTCP has introduced a new drug that is called bedaquiline capsule for MDR TB, which is under conditional access program in 2016 across 6 sites with countrywide scale up plan to 2017 to 20. So the bedaquiline drug which is a higher form of drug which is introduced in this program is provided in selected cases and selected sites. So this drug has given conditional access under this program. So this conditional access is provided to prevent the resistance to this drug. Some important working definitions is RNTCP. So there are some important definitions we should know. That new case, whom should be called a new case? A person suffering from TB who has never taken treatment or took treatment for less than 4 weeks, that is 1 month. So any new case which has any new person with newly diagnosed TB who has never taken treatment or has taken treatment but not more than for 1 month. So for less than 1 month if he has taken the treatment, then he will be called as new case. Cured case, the cured case will be called to whom? Whose sputum smear positive, who has completed treatment, that is the person who was previously sputum smear positive and has completed treatment and has sputum smear negative for at least 2 separate occasions, one at the end of treatment. So 2 sputum smears should be negative to declare the case as a cured case. A relapsed case will be called to a person declared cured returns back with sputum smear positive. So relapse case will be declared as a cured case which is returned back as a sputum smear positive. Failure case is called to a person on treatment who is sputum smear positive at or after 5 months of treatment. So after taking 5 months treatment, if the patient is still positive, then he will be called as failure. Defaulter, whom will be called a defaulter? A person who at any time after registration has not taken anti-TB drugs for 2 months or more consecutively. So if any patient refuses or doesn't take treatment for more than 2 months, then he will be called as defaulter. Drug resistance TB. So primary resistance. So who will be called as a primary or initial resistance? When a person contracts infection from a person with resistance bacilli of TB. So primary resistance should be well understood that when a person contracts infection from person with resistance bacilli of TB, then and then only he will be called as primary resistance. Secondary or acquired resistance will be a resistance developing during the course of treatment of TB. So secondary resistance who will be called, that if he is taking the TB treatment and develops resistance to these TB drugs during the course of treatment. Multi-drug resistance, that is MDR TB, resistance to isoniazid and rifampicin with or without resistance to other drugs. So for MDR TB, there should be a resistance to isoniazid and rifampicin. So the treatment of MDR TB includes DOTS plus, that is category 4, when a sensitivities are known and the isolate is confirmed as a resistance to both isoniazid and rifampicin. 5 drugs should be chosen in the following order, that is for drug resistance or MDR TB, you should know this sequence. Out of these drugs mentioned here, 5 drugs are chosen. Aminoglycosides, out of this amikacin, kanamycin can be selected, or capreomycin can also be selected. Then pyrazinamide, ethambutol, fluoroquinolones, one of the fluoroquinolones like moxifloxacin is preferred, rifabutin and cycloserine. So you should know whenever asked about the MDR TB treatment, so you can be asked in vivas also to name any 2 or 3 drugs which are used in MDR TBs. So you should know that aminoglycosides like amikacin and kanamycin are used. Then fluoroquinolone group is used, that is moxifloxacin is preferred, and cycloserine like drugs are used. Then thiamide, prothionamide and ethionamide. Then PAS, macrolide, that is clarithromycin, you should know this also, clarithromycin, linezolid, and high dose of isoniazid. If the resistance level is low, then isoniazid can be used in high doses. Then thioridazine and interferon alpha, these are used. So you should remember clarithromycin, linezolid, then cycloserine, amikacin group, moxifloxacin, that is fluoroquinolones. So these should be remembered. In extensive drug resistance TB cases, XDR TB, what will be called XDR TB, that is resistance to rifampicin and isoniazid and to any other quinolone family or to any one of the injectable second line drugs like kanamycin, capreomycin or amikacin. So these patients can be called as XDR TB patients, which involves the resistance of rifampicin isoniazid and plus with who has developed resistance to quinolone family group family member or injectable member also. So XDR is MDR with further resistance to 3 to 6 classes of second line drugs. So principle and treatment of MDR and for XDR are same. So this should also be remembered that treatment for both MDR and XDR is same. Then Nikshay Poshak Yojana. So government has launched this Yojana, that it is centrally sponsored scheme under NHM, National Health Mission. In this scheme, the financial incentives of 500 rupees per month is provided for nutritional support to each notified TB patient for duration for which the patient is on anti-TB drug treatment. Incentives are delivered through direct benefit transfer scheme to bank accounts of beneficiaries. Expanding options for ICT based treatment adherence support mechanisms. So there are technology or information and communication based treatment is provided, which includes the mobile based pill in hand adherence monitoring tool. So whenever you will visit the tuberculosis center, district tuberculosis center, you will get to know all these things live there. So these are some technologies and advances which are made available to the TB patients in the form of mobile based pill in hand, interactive voice response, SMS reminder, specially designed electronic pill boxes or strips with GSM connection and pressure sensor, patient compliant toolkit, mobile app for patient to report treatment compliance using video, audio or text messages, and automated pill loading system and innovatively designed ICT enabled smart card SMS gateway. So you should know briefly about this system, that with regard to know the continuation of treatment of TB patient, these facilities are made available to TB patients. So intensifying TB control activities in the following key population is addressed in NSP: TB, HIV, diabetic tobacco use and alcohol dependence, poor, undernourished, economically and socially backward communities, TB control in hilly and difficult terrains, substance dependence and sexual minorities, TB and pregnancy, pediatric population, prisoner inmates and staff of prisoners, jails, management of extrapulmonary TB. So these patients are particularly focused for TB control activities and intensify TB control programs.